Let's get started. Alright, here's the agenda for the day. I just got done grinding chicken feed. Now I'm picking up some garbage cans here to take over and pre-position some feed barrels for my daughter so she doesn't have to walk all over the farm to feed the egg layers. Then we're going to hook on to the egg layer wagons and we're going to move those, set up the fence, get everything moved and in place. It's a little bit of a process. It is one of those things that I need to throw the lean farm concept at, so it doesn't take all day to do. It doesn't take all day. So it doesn't take a long time to do. Let's put it that way. Moving the chickens today took about an hour to do, and that doesn't include the feed time. I don't include that because that's a totally separate deal. And also, I need to point out that I didn't just move them straight across the pasture where it would have been easier to move the fence. I moved them from one side of a permanent fence to the other side of the permanent fence, so that also took a little bit longer. But generally speaking, it took about an hour, and that's too long. Let me show you some of the reasons that it took so long and maybe talk through some of the solutions. Problem number one is that chicken wagon and that chicken wagon. I have two chicken wagons right now because the red chicken wagon just really isn't big enough for the number of egg layers we have. And so that means that I gotta hook one wagon up, drive it around to the new spot, drop it, hook the other wagon up, drive it around to the new spot, drop it, and then I've got all the stuff that goes with it. There's another problem with this red chicken wagon. Let me show you it. I don't know if you can tell above me here, but this wagon's fallen over at least twice, maybe 3 times. And it's probably because it's tall. Let me just show you how tall it is. I'm 5'9". This thing, taller than 5'9". It's like a big kite. It blows over whenever it wants to blow over. Not cool. So the first solution is to scrap this red chicken wagon, like literally tear it apart, reuse the pieces, and build a new, much bigger, much shorter chicken wagon. There's some other things that I'll do when I build that chicken wagon, like nest boxes. There needs to be more nest boxes mounted inside or outside or however I want to mount them. They need to be mounted. Those nest boxes I have to pick up, put on the tractor, and haul over here. The other problem that makes this such a laborious process is things like that water tank right there, or this chicken feeder right here, or those feed barrels right there. All of that stuff is stuff that you have to move and load, and even this fence right here I have to put onto the loader and take a couple trips sometimes to get it all over here. This is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking wagon train. All right, follow me here, right? We've got a new chicken wagon that is not as tall, but much bigger, much longer, wider, shorter. It's got outriggers on it, whatever it takes so it doesn't blow over. And then behind it, we've got a wagon train with water tank that can go down to drinks below it so that there's little fountains below it and the chickens can drink out of there. And there's got feed on it and mineral on it. And then even a space where I can put fence posts and fence when I go and move everything. So then I just take down the fence, I hook up to the wagon, and I pull everything with me. Their feeders, the extra feed, the waterers, the extra water, the fence. Man, that sounds so much better. Wagons ho. God, I'm a dork. Wagon trains. That's what we need to do, wagon trains. We do use this poultry net, this electric poultry net, although we don't electrify it. And the reason is not because of predators or anything like that, because I know Joel Salatin, Will Harris, big farms that use egg layers in an egg mobile setup like this, they don't use the netting because they want the chickens to range and do as much foraging as they can, breaking up cow pies, that kind of thing. For us, the problem is our pasture is just too small. And so if we don't keep this netting around them, no matter where we have them on the farm, whether it's way over there, across the field, really they're only 200 or 300 yards at most from the house, and they end up in the yard. So this is kind of to help contain them where we want them to be, so they're scratching up the cow pies and the bugs in the pasture and not the garden and the flower beds and all the stuff that is annoying. Oh my, I need to get to work on that. But first I gotta go to town, do some work in town, then I'll come back, tackle this, robotics tonight. It's just one of those busy Mondays. Good Monday though, good Monday. Chickens are moved. And welcome back to the farm. Do you ever just think to yourself, man, it sure would be nice if I knew how to do something. I feel like I find myself thinking that all the time. Like, there is a mess there on that truck and I just need it to work and it doesn't work. And I don't know how to make it work, and I took it to someone and they didn't make it work yet, and you know, hopefully they will make it work, but I haven't heard anything from them yet. I'm gonna go find something that I do know how to do. All right, it took me a little while, but I finally found something that I could do, that I knew how to do. So I've got the hog cart hooked up to the 4430. I'm gonna back in. We've got a few pigs that we had quarantined, about 19 feeder pigs that we had quarantined. I'm gonna load them onto the hog cart. There's also a gilt in there that I'd like to breed. I'm gonna load her onto the hog cart. We're gonna put them in this little lot out in front of our hoop house right here. I've got some boars in the hoop house, so that way there'll be a fence between this gilt and the boars. They can get to know each other. There is also electric fence around the bottom of this one, so the little pigs and this gilt can get trained to electric fence, so that then they can eventually go out to the pasture. So it's something I know how to do, at least. That's my plan. It's that easy. So this is just a little training area, basically. It's in front of the hoop house. The boars are over there in the hoop house, but this area right here, in the winter when it's dry enough or frozen, I let the pigs out on it. Sometimes I put the sheep in here. It's kind of a hard pack. I've got some gravel down in here, things like that, so it stays a little bit more dry, but it's also a good training area for the pigs. I need to get this gate shut so I can turn the electric on for them so they can start to learn what they're in here for. I find this kind of hilarious, all these pigs right now, and I love the pigs. They are all kind of in the middle of this pen because there's a hot wire all the way around the perimeter of this on the bottom, and they've all hit it multiple times, and they're kind of like, nope, we're not going to the outside now. We're hanging out in the middle. That's where we're safe. All right, so that's a good job to have done. This job still needs to be done. It's not done yet, but that's a good job to have done. Today is a Monday fun day, so that means we've worked. Now we're headed to robotics. Every Monday, at least mostly every Monday, we're gonna have robotics club meetings. So I'm headed to robotics. I do have one more thing to do tonight after robotics. Look at that over there. Corn's out. This is the first harvested field of the year in our neck of the woods. Honestly, it's one of the bigger farmers, so they're probably getting a start on it, but it's kind of crazy to see it coming out already. All right, that was a day. That's a good day. Started out working on the farm, got a lot done there. Then I went to town and worked at the church, got a lot done there. Then I came back, did a little bit of work in the afternoon here at the farm, moved some pigs around and stuff like that, had supper with the family, that was good. And then went back to town for robotics. Robotics, you know, it went well. I don't know a lot about robotics. If you know a lot about robotics, put your name down in the comments below. But now I'm back over here. I'm in the freezer room, as you can tell. I'm gonna put together CSA shares. I've got them all listed out behind me on the computer. I'm gonna go to the freezers, I'm gonna pack them all up, and then hopefully I'll go to bed. I think Mondays are gonna be busy days from now on this year, but that's all right. It's good to have busy days sometimes. So thank you guys all for watching. I appreciate it. It was kind of a crazy day on the farm. I don't even know what's gonna happen on the farm tomorrow, so come back for that, you know, on the next day. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thumbs up, like, all of that good stuff. I appreciate you all so very much.